Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you would never ask. Today is Monday. It is June the 21st, National Peaches and Cream Day. Ooh, that sounds good. National Day
I
of
don't
the...
think I've ever had peaches and cream.
Really? Well, We'll have to do that tonight. You sound like a deal? Want to do that? Anyway. National Day of the Gong. Remember Gong Show?
I do. I loved the Gong Show.
Oh, skateboarding day. I better not do that. I can only imagine I'd probably get hurt. Now, I hurt myself stepping off a ladder. I mean, I am pretty delicate these days.
You really did.
National
too.
Daylight Appreciation Day. National Selfie Day. Good day to get out and celebrate by taking a selfie. And National Arizona Day. All of these things happening on this Monday. Happens to be a movie star Monday as well. And our guest today, Karyn Parsons. She was on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And I just had last week Alfonso Rivera. He was Carlton on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Oh, I loved
So
Carlton.
I got done talking to one. I was like, hey, I'm going to chat with another. That just worked out really good. So super excited to visit with Karyn Parsons coming up.
Addiction. It's not a pretty thing. Addiction can lead to many problems in your life. Addiction can drive away those who love you the most. And addiction can lead to the loss of jobs, relationships, and even your life. Don't let addiction tear your life apart anymore. Get the help you need to defeat addiction and put the pieces back together in your life. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. They want to help. Timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by bettercreditcards.com. A new study says about half of U.S. cosmetics contain toxic chemicals. That's why I quit wearing makeup completely.
That's a good call.
I've never worn makeup. But that is really kind of concerning to think about toxic chemicals that you're smearing all over your face. You ever think of that?
I don't wear much makeup.
I know you don't. But the stuff you do wear, do you make sure it's not toxic?
No.
Yeah, you should probably maybe read a label. According to a new study, scientists have discovered that part of the brain can become addicted to news stories about impending doom. Researchers from Washington University School of Medicine, St. Louis, say people cope with the uncertainty of what the future holds in different ways. Endlessly scrolling through bad news on social media, or it's called doom scrolling, has become an increasingly common thing ever since last year. So what they're saying is maybe don't do that. Just a thought. Surveys and studies and such brought to you by bettercreditcards.com.
Do you have a credit card? We'd like to help you get a better credit card. If you don't have any credit cards, we'd like to help you too. At bettercreditcards.com, we have credit cards that offer different things for different people. Some cards offer points. Some cards are designed to help you build your credit. Bettercreditcards.com wants to help you get a better credit card, no matter what you're looking for. See if we can help you find a better credit card at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
This is your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by timeforrehab.com. 54-year-old Christopher Glenn arrested, facing charges for aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. What did he do? Police responded to an apartment. They found a victim with a stab wound. The man, identified as Robert Baker, was outside the apartment with wounds to his arms and his legs. His injuries were said to be non-life-threatening. Officers made contact with Glenn, who was still inside the home, through a landline. That's how they were able to get a hold of him. And they couldn't get him to come outside because he has a disability. Well, they were finally able to get inside. He was on the sofa with a sword. He ended up getting arrested. Police say he confessed to stabbing Baker, and he stated that, hey, if I had a little better aim, I would have gutted him. Yikes. Turns out they were drinking. They got into an argument.
That.
Yeah. And he said he was selfishly hogging the remote, and that's when escalated to him stabbing him with a sword.
That is quite the extreme
That is
response
very extreme.
to a remote control situation.
It's a bad idea. That is what happens, though, when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Fuller House star Candace Cameron Bure, she's been on this program a couple times, very nice lady, is in the news because she wants her kids to date people who love Jesus. Why is that a news story?
Well, that shouldn't be a news story.
But apparently in Hollywood, they think that's weird. Jennifer Lopez is also in the news because her mother is reportedly very thrilled about her getting back together with Ben Affleck. So I bet Ben probably is a pretty good guy.
Oh, I think he seems like a really sweet guy.
Wouldn't he be a good son-in-law, don't you think?
Yeah,
I bet it'd be kind of fun.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean...
And speaking of Jennifer Lopez, her other ex, Alex Rodriguez, is in the news. He was seen working out at the gym with his ex-wife. So there's a lot of stuff going on between those two.
A lot of moving parts.
It just seems, I'm going to go back to find some normal people to talk about. A Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
At WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com, we help you get ready for all the fun holidays throughout the year with fun, silly, and just plain weird gift ideas for your friends. If you have a friend who has a bizarre sense of humor, we've got a gift for them. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com posts a link to something that will make you smile each and every day. Whether you buy these weird gifts or not, it's worth checking out just for a smile. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. That's WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way courtesy of RadioSavings.com. Organizers of the Tokyo Olympics are asking athletes to not have sexual intercourse with each other while they're at the Olympic Village. They say due to COVID-19. Does that happen, do you think? Do you think there's a lot of that going on and when you go to the Olympics? I've never been to the Olympics.
I'm sure that happens.
I suppose, probably.
You're meeting people from all over the world that are all really super into fitness like you.
Yeah, I bet, there's probably a lot of people with similar interests, and they grew up doing the same kind of stuff. And, after soccer star, see, I'm not a sports guy, so I hope I get all this name right, Cristiano Rolando, he said he prefers water over Coca-Cola. And since that statement made it out into the little ether, into the world,
right.
$4 billion dropped in market value for Coca-Cola because this soccer star said, I like water more than Coca-Cola. $4 billion drop in market. Can you even imagine that?
Do you really think that is because of only that, or maybe because of a statement that they put out here not too long ago?
Who knows? But they're saying it's because he... So
has nothing to do with
the water market. Must be doing really well then,
because they sell water as well. So
Dasani is their thing.
Yeah.
Elon Musk is in the news. He's the guy that has Tesla and other stuff like that. Elon Musk has relisted his special place, a 9-bedroom, 9.5 bathroom mansion in San Francisco. $37.5 million. Last May, he took to Twitter to reveal he'd be selling off his entire $100 million real estate portfolio so he could focus on a mission to Mars. So if you're interested in something like that, do you call a realtor? How do you even do that for a $37 million home? Seems like a lot.
Well, yeah, you would call a realtor.
I have no idea how that works. I have no clue. And Dr. Dre is in the news. He is planning to start a high school in Los Angeles.
Dr. Dre, hi.
I don't know. I didn't even know you could start a high school. I kind of want to start one now. John and Heidi High. Maybe not that. John and Heidi High School? I don't know what it would be. We'll have to circle back. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Early to bed, early to rise makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise. This is a great quote from Benjamin Franklin. At InsuranceChicken.com, we know a thing or two about great quotes. We help people get great insurance quotes every day. It's super simple and free to find out if we can make you healthy, wealthy, and wise. Okay, I can't guarantee that, but I can assure you we'd love to help at InsuranceChicken.com. We want to help you peck out great deals on insurance. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Thanks for listening on a Movie Star Monday. We are super excited to visit right now with Karyn Parsons. You might know her. She was Hillary Banks on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. She's got a new movie out. It's called Sweet Thing. Many other things between then and now as well. And Karyn, we just had Alfonso Ribera on the program, Carlton. So it's kind of like a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air week.
Yeah, that's great. Alfonso's wonderful. I love that boy.
So was Fresh Prince of Bel-Air your first big project? Because you were pretty darn young.
Well, I wasn't really the kid that everyone thinks. I mean, I was a newbie. I was 22 years old when I started The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Hillary my character was 20. Yeah, so I wasn't a teenager like so many people think. But it was new. I mean, I had done very little at that point. Like, I'd done a bunch of commercials. I had done a couple episodic television pieces, a pilot, and a horror film. But that was pretty much it when I landed Fresh Prince.
Well, what an awesome way to kick off a career, and you've done a bunch of other things since then. Let's talk about your current project, Sweet Thing. Tell me a little bit about this movie.
Well, my husband, Alexander Rockwell, wrote and directed the film, and he made me play the part. He insisted I play the part. So my kids, Lana and Nico Rockwell, star in the film, and I have a role in it as their mother in the film. It's a darker character, quite a departure from Hillary on The Fresh Prince, very different, which my husband insisted I play and was certain I could do. I wasn't as certain as he was, but it turned out to be a really good experience. The film is very much about kind of where childhood intersects with adulthood, and there's some very tragic, dark adult characters and some themes in here. But it's how kids are so resilient, and they meet another child, a boy, Jabari Watkins, and they kind of embark on this adventure together. And you see this kind of buoyancy and resilience of childhood and this hopefulness. I have to mention also that Will Patton, the great character actor Will Patton, is in the film as well. My husband plays their father, and he's just so great. He's great in everything he does. He's great in this film. And it's shot in 16 millimeter black and white. It's beautiful. The cinematography is phenomenal. And there are these punctuations of this really saturated color. It's like candy that come along unexpectedly in the film as well. And it is a very immersive experience and really hopeful, beautiful film.
I think it's really cool that the whole family got to work together. Was it easier for you to work with your husband, or was it easier to work with your kids?
I worked with my husband before on a film called 13 Moons years ago, and that was a difficult experience for me working with him. It was early in our relationship, and I have to say, after having, so much more life together and having kids together, it was much easier. I know him better and our relationship and know how we work together. So it was actually really not hard working with him, and definitely not hard working with my kids at all, because they were so professional. They were working so much more than I was. They were working every day on the movie, and they had lots to do, lots of emotional stuff to do, lots of lines, lots of blocking, and they were pros. They were nailing all of it. They were as professional as anybody else on the set easily. And they're kind of sophisticated in that way because they've come up with a father who's a director, a film director, mother who's an actor. Both of us write and produce, and so they've had this behind the scenes experience just growing up. So they have a real respect for being professional and what it means, and they don't think of it as like some la-di-da actor, like just show up and pamper me kind of thing. They don't have any of that attitude. So I was really impressed with them, really impressed with how they really nailed it, did their job, and they're so talented. It was great. I was a very proud mama.
The movie Sweet Thing is out right now. Karyn, where do we find this?
In terms of virtual, I'm not exactly sure how that works, but it's playing the IFC Center and the Lemleys, so you can look at Sweet Thing, and you could probably look at those theaters to find exactly where to find it virtually.
It's in 2 theaters, one in New York, one in LA, and streaming. I'll throw the details online. Karyn, thank you again.
Thank you. You too.
Again, Karyn Parsons, the new movie, Sweet Thing. I've got a link to it in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Addiction. It's not a pretty thing. Addiction can lead to many problems in your life. Addiction can drive away those who love you the most. And addiction can lead to the loss of jobs, relationships, and even your life. Don't let addiction tear your life apart anymore. Get the help you need to defeat addiction and put the pieces back together in your life. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. They want to help. Timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The United Nations has an estimate here that by the year 2050, so that's not that far away. Sounds like it's a long ways away, but we're like 29 years away.
Well, it's quite a ways.
It's not that far. By the year 2050, United Nations estimates the world will have about 10 billion people. It's a lot of people.
I don't know. I disagree with that. It seems to me like people are having
fewer kids,
fewer children, and
Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, the United Nations thinks by 2050, 10 billion people. So there you go. Now you know. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Do you have a credit card? We'd like to help you get a better credit card. If you don't have any credit cards, we'd like to help you too. At bettercreditcards.com, we have credit cards that offer different things for different people. Some cards offer points. Some cards are designed to help you build your credit. Bettercreditcards.com wants to help you get a better credit card, no matter what you're looking for. See if we can help you find a better credit card at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Now, RadioTravelGroup.com presents a news headline from somewhere in this world, Dateline Russia. Hey, before we get to Russia, I want to mention, since we mentioned RadioTravelGroup.com, the event that you and I are going to in October, it's completely sold out now.
I know.
Isn't
How
that
great
crazy?
is that?
That's fun. So back to Dateline Russia. The Russian Navy has been conducting military exercises about 300 to 500 miles west of Hawaii, prompting the United States to scramble 3 F-22s to respond
Yikes.
to long-range bombers. So they're just doing exercises. And they're like, oh, we're just checking out, flying around over here. So I hope that just stays as exercises, because that's kind of scary. That is a news headline from somewhere in this world.
At WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com, we help you get ready for all the fun holidays throughout the year with fun, silly, and just plain weird gift ideas for your friends. If you have a friend who has a bizarre sense of humor, we've got a gift for them. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com posts a link to something that will make you smile each and every day. Whether you buy these weird gifts or not, it's worth checking out just for a smile. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. That's WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
Now some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. A Florida man is accused of defrauding investors that he recruited for a ticket business opportunity. The federal indictment against 52-year-old Thomas Cohilo charges him with 2 counts of wire fraud. It also notifies him that the government is seeking to recover $1.8 million. That's the amount that he is estimated to have made from this scheme. Federal prosecutors say he used his entertainment industry connections to make it seem like he had access to tickets. The indictment says he recruited investors for an opportunity involving buying tickets for events and then reselling them for a profit. But he primarily used all of this money for his own personal expenses. So $1.8 million in tickets.
Yikes.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what's going on there, but here's the thing I've learned. Anytime there's something that seems too good to be true, it typically is.
Probably
not always
too good to be true.
Typically. Today's weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
John and Heidi.
Time now for your moment of duh, brought to you by RadioSavings.com. A New Jersey man didn't make it past airport security on Friday after TSA officials discovered a gun tucked inside of his belt. They stopped the man at Terminal C, Newark Liberty Airport, and that's when they thought they found a replica gun inside of a large belt buckle. Closer inspection proved the gun to be a real gun. It said it could pop out of its decorative metallic oval frame. They say the New Jersey man claimed he forgot that he had that gun in his belt buckle. And turns out the guy was arrested on weapons charges, by the way. But he's not the only person stopped this month with a gun. Apparently, this has happened numerous times. So somebody else had, I forgot I had the gun too. So these people are finding several people who are trying to get on airplanes with guns.
You can travel with a weapon, but you have to do it properly.
Properly, yeah. You don't do it that way. You put it in your checked luggage. So.
Yeah.
And only do that if you're supposed to be doing that.
Right.
Bizarre story, though. It is today's moment of duh.
Early to bed, early to rise makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise. This is a great quote from Benjamin Franklin. At InsuranceChicken.com, we know a thing or two about great quotes. We help people get great insurance quotes every day. It's super simple and free to find out if we can make you healthy, wealthy, and wise. Okay, I can't guarantee that, but I can assure you we'd love to help at InsuranceChicken.com. We want to help you peck out great deals on insurance. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Time now for Is It a Golf Course or Is It a Rehab Center? Brought to you by TimeForRehab.com. Heidi, tell me, Southern Oaks, Piedmont, South Carolina. Is it a golf course or is it a rehab center? Southern Oaks.
I'm going to say it's a rehab center.
The answer is Rehab
Sweet.
Center.
2 in a row.
Yeah, you're doing good. For those of you keeping score at home, Heidi got it right. I mean, I know you're probably shocked because she hasn't for a while.
I haven't. It's been a
You're
long time.
You're doing really good. Whatever you're drinking today, keep drinking that. That is how we play. Is it a golf course or is it a rehab center? Brought to you by timeforrehab.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. Comes your way courtesy of bettercreditcards.com. Here's a headline. Waffle House employees in Alabama save a high school graduate's day. Employees in Alabama at a Waffle House rallied to help an 18-year-old coworker attend his high school graduation. Timothy Harrison's high school graduation had been held across town when he showed up for his shift at Waffle House. His manager and coworkers were surprised to see him. They said, "Hey, why aren't you going to graduation?" He said, "I don't have any way to get across town. Besides, I wasn't able to get any tickets for my family because I was working and I didn't complete all of my senior activities." That's when Cedric, a fellow employee, went to work, including an assisting manager who was also off that day. They included the two of them as they went to work to help him. He said, "I was like you." He said, "You're going." And they made him go to his graduation. So they drove him to the high school. They got his cap and gown. In addition to all of that, they went to a nearby clothing store and got him some new pants, and a dress shirt, and a tie. And there's some really fun photos that made it online that show all of this stuff happening. And it's the young lady drove, and the young man was helping him get ready. It says she didn't have a ticket, so she waited in the parking lot for the ceremony to end. So they didn't even get to go in and watch it. Said, "I had people who wanted to see me succeed, so it kind of made me excited," the young man said. "When I put on the clothes, that was a different feeling. I don't even know the words. Like $1 million, I guess. It was the best feeling."
That's adorable.
Isn't that great?
It is.
You can make an impact in somebody's life, and it doesn't have to be hard. Like this was, they drove him across town. How hard is that? I mean, that's not hard, but they took the time to do it, which is the cool thing. And then I love the fact that they also said, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna hook you up with some nice clothes to wear because, like, it's your graduation. You're only doing this once. It's a special thing. We're gonna help you out." So I love that. It's a neat story. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. You can read that story in the show notes if you'd like. It's at the bottom of the page at johnandheidishow.com.